new band of rebels arose who were determined to carry the fight to Jerusalem. The SICARII. To the SICARII, anyone who wasn't fighting the Romans was a collaborator and worthy of death.
Many were slain every day, and the fear men were in was worse than the calamity itself.
They said be born again. Give me John 3. Go ahead.
This is Romans 12 from the top. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God,
Give me that 1 Peter 3. Go ahead.
that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice,
Go ahead.
holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service.
Yeah, you got to be holy, which is what? Separate. Like, we're not allowed to eat certain things. We're not allowed to wear certain things. Like we said earlier, the frequency of the clothes. We can't wear mixed fabric. God already told us that. So guess what? We have to be holy and separate from everybody else that wears that type of stuff. That's just one simple law we have to keep. Why? Because it's perfect. God already knew about the frequency of the clothes because he created the clothes. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
And be not conformed to this world.
Don't be conformed to this world. What does that mean?
Don't do what they tell you to
Exactly.
do.
Don't do what the world does. Don't do Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, Easter, all that garbage. That is pagan. They all go back to pagan deities, which is a sin. The ideology. Exactly. Idolatry, excuse me.
Every single holiday is a sin, basically.
Exactly, for the most part.
Gluttony is Thanksgiving, and yeah.
Oh, you talking about the 7 deadly sins? I mean,
Christmas is greed and.
nah, Christmas isn't greed. That's just, it's idolatry. It's idolatry, literally.
People just want gifts and they're thinking about.
Well, no, it's not about the gifts. It's about that idolatry behind it.
So basically, like with this whole deadly sins, 7 deadly sins, that goes back to a poem by Dante. It's called I forget what it's called. Dante's Inferno, right? So, and then they have 7 different layers of hell representing the 7 deadly sins. But sin is sin. So yes, you're right about these holidays are sins. You committing idolatry, you're offending God by celebrating these holidays at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's not just 7 sins either. Like, even though, I mean, that's somebody's made up interpretation of a sin, or 7 deadly sins. Like, Christmas isn't tied to greed. Like, that's, no. It's about the tree, the symbolism behind the tree, the presence under the tree, the day itself. That all goes back to ancient Babylon.
But supposedly it's supposed to be way in Jesus.
Sure, supposedly, but that's a lie. That's not in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're a sharp brother, man. Go ahead.
This is Romans 12 and 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed.
Be transformed how?
By the renewing of your mind.
By the renewing of your mind. That's how you're born again mentally. Because what you think is what you do for the most part, right? So if you think differently, you're going to do differently. Us being renewed is knowing who we are, biblically. We're the Israelites. We have to do what God tells us to do. It's not a dictatorship. It's what we agreed to in the ancient world. If you read Deuteronomy 28, give me Deuteronomy 28, actually.
So basically, like, just learning, basically.
Exactly. Because Jesus, who the world called Jesus, says what? You got to come as a child and learn. So, how old are you, brother?
30.
30. In your 30 years, have you ever heard this before? Exactly. So you're still 30 years old, but guess what? You're as a child learning right now.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to be. Be willing to listen and learn. And you have the spirit for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So other people will be like, oh, no, I don't agree with that. Like, you're just stuck on, like, the science aspect. But it's not a problem, like you said. You learn a lot that way.
Yeah,
you can come back to the Bible and reference it. Okay, let me see how it measures up to this.
It's not like I believe it. I'm just, like...
I'm not saying it's a problem believing it, though. I'm not saying it's
asking why, like, why?
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a problem in believing it because there's a measuring stick to truth. And that's all science means. Science just means to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some things they make up to disprove the Bible, disprove God. Because white people are not of God, like, honestly. They're not.
And also they got these things because most of, like, a lot of it's called theory. You see, there's like different levels of these things are called a hypothesis first, and then it goes to theory, and then from theory it turns into law. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So, and a lot of these things are just theories, and the theory, it's not basically truth.
It can change, exactly.
A law
It
is a
sounds like
truth.
it's possible, so they go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Exactly. It's like you said, their private interpretation. You know what I mean? They can just say whatever. But then there could be an opposite side of the fence. Oh, I don't agree with that. But who's right?
Yeah.
You can decide who's right personally, but guess what? There's only one truth, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This is Romans 12:2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
Give me Psalm 40. What's the will of God?
Oh God, I don't know. I got no idea.
Okay, hey, it's not a problem. You can read it real quick. Give me that.
This is Psalms 40:8. I delight to do thy will, O my God. Yeah, thy law is within my heart.
The laws of God. Who got the laws of God? The Israelites. We're saying you're an Israelite. You just learned that today, but guess what? Once you start recognizing that, because we can go into the history. Like I say, you got your cat at home, you got to feed your cat, maybe give it some water, whatever, play with it. Who knows? But guess what? There's plenty of videos you can look at after you leave here if you don't come back for a while. But at the same time, we have history on the quote unquote Mexicans that prove they're Israelites and books. Give me my book real quick. Matter of fact, I'm gonna show you this real quick, and I'm gonna show you something. This is the book called Discovery of Ancient America. What you know what this is? This artifact? What is that?
It's supposed to be like America, California.
Of course, no, it's in New Mexico.
Oh, that,
But what is this
New
though?
Mexico. Shit, I don't know.
It's called the Los Lunas Stone.
Los what?
Los Lunas.
Los Lunas.
But guess what's on here?
The Monday stone?
Las Lunas.
Los Lunas.
Oh, the moonstone.
Guess what's on this stone? The Ten Commandments.
Oh, that's on there. Oh, okay,
In
okay.
Hebrew though, in Paleo Hebrew.
Uh-huh.
Who wrote this?
Supposedly, no.
Your people wrote
Moses.
this.
Moses.
No, this is in America. Moses was in America. This is New Mexico.
So
Your people wrote this.
Hispanic.
Of course. Back when they came over here over 2,500 years ago.
Well, I mean, was it this our land supposedly? Then
I mean, you came over here first and settled here.
wait. So who settled here first? Then
What's that?
who settled? Who was here
Your
first?
people settled here first. The Native
No,
Indians, the
but
Hispanics.
Before they settled here, who was
Nobody.
here?
Nobody was here.
There was no one here.
Nobody was here. We can prove it. Have you heard otherwise?
It's crazy. It's like
Have you heard contrary? Who was here before the Native Americans? Because you're technically a Native American, quote unquote.
Yeah.
You're just called you're a different tribe from them. That's all.
Yeah, that sucks that we don't get the same stuff.
Like perks.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about what perks? Wait a minute. What?
You said it.
No, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like the money, the casinos or whatever.
Well, I
it may be.
I know that they were murdered and stuff like.
Just like your people.
Well, yeah, that's why.
They got their land taken.
If it's the same concept, like why not for all the Hispanic, not all the natives?
Well, those are different white men that conquered them. You guys got conquered by the Spaniards. The Spaniards didn't make a deal with y'all like that.
Oh, okay.
The British white men made a deal with the Native Americans.
So they made a deal to be killed and.
No, I'm talking about after the fact.
Oh.
After the fact. And most of those Native Americans that are getting that money aren't real Indians anyway. Those casinos that they have aren't run by little Native Americans.
No, yeah,
Not all of them. Some of them definitely are. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because-
some,
because-
but those are like the
Because,
ones
like,
in the
honestly, I'm gonna
outskirts.
tell you something. That whole casino thing, it's not a good thing either, because they have to pay hella other taxes. They have to pay the gaming board of the states. They have to pay the inspections.
It's
like-
influencing the money for.
Yes, and money that goes to is distributed to tribes, but it's really a big. It's fucked up. It's like really fucked up because they have to pay, like I said, they have to pay the gaming boards of the state. They have to pay for the inspections. It's bad, bro. You know what I mean?
And that's after they killed millions of them and took their land.
So it's like paying for a home.
It's paying to stay afloat.
It's like, all right.
Because you
like,
think the Native Americans would rather have a casino or their land back?
their land.
They would take their land back in a heartbeat. right now.
They're
Like,
still poor with those
Exactly.
with those casinos.
Those are,
So-
and they're not sharing the wealth like that.
yeah,
Because I know a sister up in Sac that her own grandma, like she's getting like what 20 bands a month for being a Native American. And she's like, she don't share that with me. That's her own granddaughter though. She said I gotta wait for my grandmom to die and my mom to die to even see a cent of that money because it's greed at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But it's still her family. So guess what? Just imagine how much money they're raking in at the casinos.
yeah.
You think they're sharing that amongst all the tribes? Even though it's possible, but guess what? They're not.
Yeah, no.
They're not. They're not going to do that. And Native Americans are still on reservations right now, drinking bleach, drinking shampoo, drinking themselves to death. Miserable. They're in hell. That's hell right there.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But guess what? Your people came over here and wrote these 10 commandments to try to keep the laws of God. And then what happened? The Spaniards came, like I said before. Conquered you, told you that was Jesus, told you to serve the Catholic Church. That's why you're Catholic. The conquistadors were Catholic. Ferdinand and Elizabeth. Yeah, the church fight, those are all Catholics,
But like
Spaniards.
Like I said, once I thought about it, and they crucified Jesus and stuff, I was like, all right.
Well, no, that was already prophesied, though. It wasn't necessarily, it wasn't overall a negative
But that's
situation, but
that's when I started like thinking. I was like, oh, it probably isn't all like true. Like there's more to it. Like there's stuff that they're hiding and stuff like.
oh,
that.
so them crucifying Jesus made you think that what everything wasn't
what
up to
happened,
par?
What happened after, and like how everyone believes that Jesus is so good, but they didn't change the way that they were led. You know, like the government-wise.
Well, no, they weren't around back then. That's
But
the people that run the Catholic Church weren't around when Jesus was walking the earth.
I haven't heard of anything that changed after that. You know, like
What do you mean?
church-wise, like
But that's the thing, though. You're confusing the biblical narrative with what you're recognizing today as a church. That's not the same church. Give me Acts 7 real quick, and give me John 11. Let's get John 11 real quick, because Jesus was already prophesied to die before he came. He was supposed to die. How he died, obviously.
I thought it was just because people talked highly of him and they wanted.
Well, no, people hated him.
And the government were like, "No, we can't have that. We have to have the power."
The government
so
at
we
that
have to
time was
do
run
something
by
about it.
wicked Israelites, and they were still below the Romans. The Romans were in charge at that time, and the people that were in charge were also Jews, but they didn't want to give up their power because Jesus was so prominent, and other people that were beneath him at his level loved him, but the people in charge didn't love Jesus. That's why they conspired against him.
Because of how people thought of him, or
Well, because of his influence. Give me that.
John 11 and
48, 47.
This is John 11 and 47. Okay, let me start at 46. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Jesus had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, "What do we? What do we? For this man doth many miracles.
Yeah, they're hating on Jesus. He's doing many miracles out here. Go ahead.
If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
If we let him do his thing, everybody's gonna believe on him. Read.
And the Romans shall come.
The who?
The Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation."
That's what they were afraid of. The Romans taking their place of rulership because Jesus was so prominent.
so that's in the Bible.
We're reading it.
Okay.
This is John. Go ahead.
And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year said unto them,
Read on.
"Ye know nothing at all."
So this is a smart guy. He knew the laws and the prophecies of God. You guys that are hating on Jesus, on his miracles, things like that, you don't know what you're talking about. Why? He's gonna reference it. Read.
Nor consider that it is expedient
It's expedient. It's a good thing for us, the Jews. Read.
that one man should die for the people,
He has to die for the people. Read.
and that the whole nation perish not.
So the whole nation don't perish. Why? Because he's supposed to die for our sins. Because at that time we were still sacrificing animals and things like that, and God wasn't pleased with that. Because why? Because you're not changing your mind. You're just doing it out of ritualistic practice. You know what I mean? You're breaking laws because all you have to do is offer up a goat or a lamb or pigeon. But that guy's like, what? Like, you're just doing it because you're doing it.
And if you're a rich man, you got those animals on standby, and you're still doing wicked things over here, knowing that I can just go sacrifice an animal. And there was a point that Isaiah and there was other prophets that God said he was tired of those sacrifices because we were just kept sinning over and over and over. Right?
It was a non-stop thing,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of life right now, you know. It's
That's
like,
how it is right now.
it's what the people made it out to be. Like, everything you possibly could do is a sin. That means.
But you're already saved, though. That's what they say, too.
Yeah.
You already saved.
It's
Your
like-
sin, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Jesus died for that. All you have to do is believe. Just believe.
Yeah,
That's
contradicts,
madness.
yeah.
You have to do something. You have to change your thinking. Like people say, oh, God saved you from drugs and things like that, but you're still in sin. They literally would say they're sinners, even though they say they don't do drugs. That's just one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about you doing everything else that God told you not to do?
Yeah.
But this is the thing about the Christian church and the Catholic church. They say the laws, we don't have to keep the laws no more. But that's what got us in a predicament as far as our people. You know what I mean? That's why we have to keep the laws. We're under a curse because we didn't do what God told us to do, which is back in Deuteronomy 28. And this is why I said the 10 Commandments y'all wrote, y'all supposed to keep these commandments. But you guys didn't because obviously they were doing sacrifices, other things like that. And killing people, obviously, that's a sin.
So like the movies,
What's
like
that?
the movies like legit. With
What
the
movies?
10 Commandments.
Well, that's why I brought up earlier about Moses, the white dude playing Moses. That's a true story for sure. We believe that story.
So it's like legit. Like
That story is legit. Of course, it's in the Bible.
Alright, for sure.
But the portrayal of the white people, no, those aren't the real
No,
Jews.
yeah, no,
But yeah,
of
the
course not.
story,
Yeah,
of course,
yeah.
it's in the Bible for
Alright,
sure.
for sure.
That's where they got the story from, the movie from.
So basically, throughout time, like they were just like, oh, this guy's schizophrenic or something.
Who?
Like people in general. Like,
Who's schizophrenic? What do you mean?
Of course, I mean,
Moses.
people will say that now, like they really try to say that Moses was under the influence, or you know what I'm saying? Like, of course,
Like,
academia would try to explain something away like that. You know what I'm
Talking about
saying?
Moses?
Someone told me
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
no one else could see.
Yeah,
and-
but see, that's a difference. That's a difference over this and with other religions. Like, for example, the Mormons. John Smith said he had a vision. The Muslims, they believe that only Muhammad and Abu Bakr, his servant, was in the cave when he first got the first message. This is different. With Moses, this is actually an event that happened in front of millions of people, man. You know what I'm saying? This is not like Islam or
He was saving the people.
like when people seen the clouds,
The thunder,
or the thunder, they seen bro, like the mathematicians, because we went into Egypt with 80 souls, 80 souls, 70 souls. We were there for 200 years.
400 technically.
Well, with that whole time, and they say that mathematicians got it like estimated that at the time of Sinai, the Sinai event, that they have it up to like 2.5 million people that witnessed these things. You know what I'm saying? So it's a big event that many people seen. You know what I'm saying? And this is what's so special about the giving of the Torah and Moses. You know what I'm saying? In other religions. You know what I mean?
And I went into that, like I said, to talk about Noah's Ark. That whole video I have on the channel last week, I went into how we were in Mount Sinai, the evidence of Mount Sinai, the 12 stones they found, the burnt mountain that God sent fire upon, the split rock at Mount Horeb. That's all over there where we were. It didn't just show up. Like where's that come from? It's a biblical story, but guess what? People say, oh, well, nobody else was there but the Israelites. How are we supposed to believe that? The archaeology.
What about giants?
Giants? What about giants?
Giants.
Goliath?
What's it called? The Terranithia or something?
Who? You talking about Nephilim? Fallen angels?
Nephilim. Yeah, Nephilim.
Um,
And cause I mean, there's mountains that look like they've been chopped.
that's what people say.
There's, but they look like tree stumps.
Giant trees? I mean, it's possible. I don't believe that, though. But
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
no.
I don't believe that at all. No.
I thought there would be some.
What?
I thought you'd have something for it.
Like
I do have something for it.
Uh,
Where are the bones?
well, I mean, they have some videos, but.
But
you
where is the
can't-
population? They show one person ever. Where there's supposed to be thousands of them, right? Where they at?
Yeah.
And wait a minute, let's just say this, because we bring this up all the time. People, you're not the first person to ask this, brother. So it's not a problem. But here's the thing: What's the story they tell you? Angels came down, had sex with women, that type of thing. They had what? How big were the giants though? How big were they? Because that tree's what?
Like
500 feet, 1,000 feet.
Like a mountain.
Five-
Like a mountain.
So the giants have to be at least taller than that, or at least if it's a tree. If I stand next to a tree like over there, the tree's what? 20 feet tall, 14 feet taller than me. So it's approximate. You know what I mean? So if a tree that big, what you're talking about, existed, the giants have to be at least 1/20th of what? Yeah, a third or a fourth of the tall, as tall as that quote unquote mountain you're talking about. But that's not true. You know why? Because women don't push out those size babies. It doesn't make sense. You mean a human woman can push out a 30-foot kid? No, it doesn't make sense. And first of all, angels don't have sex with people. And the Bible says that too. You know what I want? Give me that real quick. Give me Psalms 103 and 20. Or 106 and 20. And here's the thing. It does talk about giants in the Bible, but it talks about, like I said, Goliath. Goliath was a quote-unquote giant, but he was only like 9, 10 feet.
Okay, so it wasn't like.
Exactly. That's a giant to us. Shaq is a giant to you, right or wrong?
Oh yeah, right.
Shaq is only 7'2".
And that's.
Bol Bol,
basically
or
the
his
same.
father, Manute Bol, 7'4", 7'5". Yao Ming, 7'4". That's a giant to me. I'm 6'3". He's only a foot taller than me. I'm like, oh damn, that's a tall dude.
And I'm 5'4".
And if we say that our people are the writers of these books, you got to understand the way we talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, our people talk like that too. Like, it's no different, man. Like, we got to demystify this book. It's a rational book, man. You know what I'm saying? Though there's miracles in the book, those some things that God did in the book, yes, we understand this. But we got to demystify and spookify this book.
Like
It's not a spooky book.
Comprehend it.
Yeah,
And
if we're saying this is our book, we wrote this. We speak in metaphors, similes, allegories, all that type of stuff. We do that right now. Slang, we did that all the time. But we have to look at it through that lens in the Bible as well. Oh, that dude's a giant. But guess what? David, let's say David was 5'10". Of course, at that time, it does describe Goliath as a 9-foot person. So of course he's like, oh damn, this is a giant to me. But guess what? If I go to the NBA game and I walk past JaVale McGee, who's 7 foot, he's a giant to me. He's up there. One of my best friends is 6'9". He's a giant to me, kind of. I'm only 6'3". He's still tall. I'm like, damn, I gotta look up to you. That's a giant.
Yeah.
It's simple. At your height, of course, I'm a giant to you technically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that simple, brother. We can't just say, oh well. I'm just keeping it real. Keep it real, brother. It's my brother right here. Go ahead, read that.
This is Psalms 103 and 20. Bless the Lord, ye his angels,
Bless the Lord, ye his angels. Read on.
that excel in strength,
Read on.
that do his commandments.
That what?
That do his commandments.
The angels do God's commandments. He didn't command his angels to have sex with women. It's impossible. Is that it? Go ahead.
Hearkening unto the voice of his word.
Let's prove they don't have sex with angels. Go ahead. Like 39, 40? Huh?
No, yeah, I want
It's like 40. Start at 40.
Okay, 39. All flesh, 1 Corinthians 15 and 39. All flesh is not the same flesh.
All flesh isn't the same flesh, right?
Well, what do they mean by that? Like, we're not all
It's
the
going to
same?
explain itself. It's going to explain. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
Let me read it in a better English for you then. Similarly, there are different kinds of flesh. One kind for humans,
One kind for humans. Read.
another for animals.
Another for animals.
Reptilian.
Oh my God, sir, don't do
I'll
that.
play.
You watching too many videos now. You watching way too many videos. Go ahead.
Another for animals, another for birds, and another for fish.
Yeah, because we can't procreate with animals, right?
Yeah,
But I can touch an animal. There's some white people do that. I'm gonna say that. But you can't procreate with an animal, right? But they have similar flesh, but they procreate with each other. We procreate with other humans, men and women. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why homosexuality is an abomination. They can't procreate. Well, go ahead.
That goes back to the point that we don't come from apes or primates.
Exactly.
Though
That's a great point.
Though we're very similar, they can
Exactly.
catch our colds. We can catch colds and viruses from them, but we can't procreate with these, so we can't come from them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not evolution. Honestly, that's a great point. I never thought of that actually till right now, but that's a powerful, powerful point. And plus, guess what? There's still monkeys here.
Yeah.
So, where's the evolution? What happened?
Yeah.
They should have died off.
Yeah, they should have died. Like they're weaker than us according to them.
Uh-huh.
Because we're supposed to be the most powerful. What's that?
I said they're still out there. You
Yeah.
know,
So
like,
I mean, what happened? They didn't evolve. They just stuck like Planet of the Apes. Like what happened? But anyways, I was gonna say something else.
that movie's trippy actually, but no.
What's
that's
that?
why- That movie's trippy actually.
That's a great movie. It's some esoteric information in those movies.
Yeah,
It's actually
yeah.
talking about our people. But go ahead.
Yeah, but plus, like right now, they got some studies on chimps right now that they possibly, supposedly entered the Stone Age. They're making tools now. Like their intelligence
Of course.
is just
It keeps rising.
yeah, it's rising,
Yeah,
but it's not
they're
gonna
smart,
say
they're smart. They're smarter than us,
They're
but-
not gonna be like outgrow us.
Exactly.
God made Adam the master of beasts. You know what I'm saying? So we descended from him. But I just said that just to show you that there's changes that are happening within the chimp, within chimps,
Yeah.
but not physically. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you know.
Intellectually.
Yeah. But okay, these also. Let me see. Verse 40. There are also bodies in the heavens
There's bodies in the heavens. Read.
and bodies on the earth. The glory of the heavenly bodies is different from the glory of the earthly bodies. Is it?
Keep reading though.
Okay. Let me go back to KJV. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial one and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun and another glory of the moon and another glory of the stars, for one star different from another star in glory.
Is this still talking about the flesh here? Or no. But yeah, pretty much, angels have different bodies in us. Now it does say angels can appear as humans, but you would never know. You would never know. But
It could be some.
it could be a homeless person. You, like I said, don't be. What does it say? Entertain angels.
Yeah.
What you got?
But all that to say this, that they can't procreate with our women.
They can't.
And they won't, because like they're there just to follow God, the commandments of God. Whatever he decrees, they do.
like
That's
a
it.
guide, a guidance.
I mean, they can kill people too. Like they can put a spirit on somebody to kill somebody, all that type of stuff.
Oh,
They can influence everything.
so there could be bad angels.
Of course. Like we say, Satan's a quote unquote evil deity. There's left-handed angels as well. Give me that in 1 Kings 22 and 20. Go ahead.
People got this conception of what angels are. Like,
Just the name of it, it's like alright, like, something angelic, like good.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course. But
It's like-
angel just means a messenger. That's all it is in the Hebrew, actually.
but every time like God needed a city to be destroyed, or like a plague to come upon some, what do you think he sent? Like, if we used to see an angel today, these are scary beings, man.
Yeah.
Like, really, people got this messed up, warped vision of what an angel
so like
is.
demons, basically.
I mean, you seeing them right now, you probably say it was a demon. But they're angels. Like, give me that in Judges.
Form,
Give me that in Judges. You know what I want? Let me go there. Let's read it real quick and then we'll go here. What have you on? What did I call? I forgot what I just called. Yeah, he only Judges. I called something else. So what did I just call for it? Anyways, just read it.
This is Judges 13 and 6. It says, Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came on to me,
A man of God came on there, but it says it's a man. Read.
and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very terrible.
Very terrible. So the angel looks terrible. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Oh yeah, that's what he already called it. Go ahead.
But I asked him not whence he was, neither told he me his name.
Yeah. Why? She's like, I knew it was an angel. It looked like a man though, but he was still terrible to look at. Like frightening. That's what she means by terrible. So like I said, and I brought this up last time. There's a video of a guy that was working for the Pentagon, and he was searching about UFOs, and he was going around different places, UFO sightings, people seeing them, videos, pictures, and they were trying to figure out like depending on the government, you know, and things like that. And eventually the dude comes into him that's above him. He's like, just stop working on that. Just don't do that no more. He's like, okay, I have a problem with that, but why? Why'd you tell me to stop? You hired me for this job. Why are you telling me to stop? Is it our technology? You know, the UFOs, quote unquote? Or is it our technology? He's like, no. What's that?
Satellites.
No. Satellites, like I already told you, the satellites, they put satellites on balloons like we said before. But most of the satellites are literally under the ocean. Period. There are no satellites in space. That's ridiculous.
So, what are the stars?
Stars are stars. They're stars.
But if there's a firmament, how is
What's that?
If there's a firmament, how is there stars? Or is
They're inside the firmament.
They're local.
Yeah, everything. The sun and the
So it's in between, like
sun, moon, and stars are inside the
so
firmament.
It's Earth, the firmament, then out there.
Well, we don't know what's outside the firmament.
Uh,
Even though Genesis does say it opens up the firmament and it rains, that type of thing, because there's waters above the waters. That's what it says. But I can't explain it. I'm not going to make up something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the stars, the moon, and the sun are local. They're all inside the firmament. Period. But you ready what I had? Yeah, give me that.
First Kings 22. What do you want? 22 verse
22 and 20.
22 and 20. And the Lord's okay.
Start at go down. Is that 20? Is that what I want?
this is gonna be the last one.
Yeah, give me 19.
First Kings 22 and 19. And he said, "Hear thou."
Oh, no, that's how I wanted to finish Slack here, about the UFO aspect. The dude said, it's not our technology. The government official talked to the dude that was on the video. And then he goes to say, have you read your Bible? That's what he says to the dude that's doing the research. He's like, yeah, I've read the Bible. Then he said, okay, then you know what they are now. But, of course, the government's going to see them as what? Demons. Because they can't control it.
Well,
But we understand the UFOs, quote unquote, to be the chariots of God. The angels those are the angels' vehicles. That's what we believe.
like I said, like in the back of the dollar bill, it says that God we trust and who creates money and everything. So like my perspective is like the government portraying to be God or
Well, yeah, of course, they're in power. That's what a God is.
Yeah.
A God means power in the Hebrew. Judges, ruler. That's all it means.
and using all those symbolism and
Well,
stuff,
that's
media,
their language. Like I said, the symbolism. They took different symbols and applied it to their beliefs.
To
You know
their
what I
own
mean?
meaning,
Like
yeah.
the pyramid is just a pyramid. Like that's not anything special.
But why? Why the pyramid?
I mean, because that's where masonry is come from. Masonry is what? Stone masonry. Building blocks. You know what I mean? So it's them building knowledge through their, their left-hand side,
But why-
but it's not necessarily physical.
Why so many like different locations?
What do you mean?
And, like the same.
Oh, you talking about in Egypt or just over here?
Everywhere. Like
Well, they
Mexico,
were already built before that.
Egypt.
They were like the pyramids were built before that was even a thing. Go ahead. What
Like
you
no, well, there's pyramids all over. Like I mean, there's difference with a pyramid and a temple. Like what we have here in the Americas are temples. The pyramids in Egypt are pyramids. They got temples in like Indonesia too that look very similar. Also, it's just technology that humans had, right? But then you got the white man will be like, oh, since they didn't build it, aliens did, right?
Yeah.
Because
Because
They don't know how it was built.
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
They don't know how they were built, but technically they took it because that's what they took it from, the masonry aspect or Freemasonry. They built those pyramids and then taken that quote unquote physical information and transferred it to knowledge in reference to their building their own spiritual temple on the wicked side. You know what I mean? Doing all these dumbass rituals and things like that.
Well,
But
I heard about like our forefathers and whatnot, like all the leaders from before, like they went by choices, by voices that they heard.
who? What
Like
leaders?
George Washington and the war and stuff, and like so on.
Voices? I
Yeah,
never heard that. They went by voices? What do you mean?
Like
Demons, you mean, or just?
Nah, I wouldn't say demons, but just like voices, like someone would be telling them like what to do and a certain way
Where'd
to
you
do
hear
it,
that from?
where to go.
I've never heard that before, but
It's media.
I mean, I'm not putting it past them, but I've never heard that before.
That was it was. I mean, the Lord said he has like angels assigned to nations anyway.
Yeah,
so like,
exactly.
yeah, I wouldn't
That's what we was gonna read. Give me that last one. That's the last one.
yeah, I wouldn't see like it be far fetched. You know what I'm saying? Like angels manipulate what's happening on the earth because God
Yeah, I said that
rules.
earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
God
said that.
rules in the kingdom of men. You
Exactly.
know what I'm saying? He does what he wills.
Exactly. I said it earlier. Angels influence things. If God wants somebody to die, guess what? He's gonna put a spirit on somebody or put an angel to put a demon on that person and go kill somebody.
Right.
Somebody run a red light, strike a pedestrian, anything. And whatever God deems necessary is gonna happen. Period. It might be tragedy to you, but God, all he's doing is checking the box off. You know what I mean? We gotta understand that. We can't think, oh, God's just mean. Oh my God, like I thought he was all good. No, God's gonna kill whoever he wants. Go ahead.
So 1 Kings 28 and 18.
But he's a Satan to do it sometimes. Go ahead.
And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil?
Read.
And he said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne,
So this is a vision. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, talking about the heavenly realm. Read.
and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left.
The hosts of heaven are the angels on the right hand side and on the left hand side. What's the right hand side? Good angels, the quote unquote good angels.
So I always thought that what you see like on TV, media and stuff, it was your own conscience, like the good
What
and
you
the
mean?
bad, like thinking the good.
Oh, you're talking about the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the next.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's not a bad concept, but literally, yes, the symbolism isn't necessarily off per se, but that is how God works technically.
So like you.
And that's why I mentioned earlier about being influenced or being.
The concept of it is basically like technically like God speaking to you, or like
Sure.
putting something in your head, like
Yeah.
trying to figure it out on your own, like trying to figure out.
Or you could put Satan in your head
Yeah.
and have you go a certain way.
But isn't it more
But it's
likely
still
that
his will. What?
isn't it more likely that he'd put Satan in your head?
It depends on what path he has for you.
Well, I mean, because usually we're all given a certain path that's more difficult for us, that makes us want to choose.
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it says. Give me that 2nd Ezra 7. Let me read you this number. Read you one more. I said, no, you said you got to go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said, Who shall persuade Ahab?
So he's talking to the heavenly host. Who's going to persuade Ahab, the king of Israel? Read.
And that he might go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead.
So God wants this king to die. Who's going to persuade him? Because at this time, the prophets weren't prophesying to him. And they were telling him like, oh, you're going to win, you're going to win. But then Ahab's like, well, let me go to the real prophet. And the prophet was like, God's not speaking to you. But if you want the message, this is the message he's telling him. Or he's seeing the vision. Go ahead.
Remember, in this verse he says, Did I not tell thee that he will prophesy no good concerning me?
Yeah.
But evil?
The prophet that he wants to go to, because all the other prophets, he's like, man, you just tell me that because I'm the king. But who wants to talk to the real prophet? Hey, what is God telling you what's going to happen? So he's like, you want me to say something good, but I'm not going to tell you nothing but evil. But if you want to know, this is why he's having a vision now, and he's going to tell him what's going to happen. Read.
That he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead?
Yeah, who's going to persuade him to go die? Go ahead.
And one said on this manner, and the other said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit,
Read.
and stood before the Lord, and said, I will persuade him.
Read.
And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith?
Read. Go ahead.
And he said, I will go forth, and I'll be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also. Go forth and do so.
Exactly. The message you want to hear, I'm going to allow these prophets to tell you all these lies and gas you up just for you to go die. So guess what? Is that an evil thing? Or is that just what God wanted to happen?
That's what I wanted
And
to
guess what? He sent a lying
Because-
spirit to go tell him a lie so he can go die.
It's like what we're all doing. We're all just doing what's supposedly what he wants us to do, just to end up dying at the end. You know.
Well, it's not. Well, that's different though. If you live your life according to God's will, it's different than you dying in wickedness. Because he was doing wickedly at that time.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? The king of Israel was wicked as hell.
Uh-huh.
But guess what? If you're not doing wickedly and you die, you're going to be the ones that's risen up. Like you said, people get risen up to die in the second death. Some people are going to die and be risen up to go into the kingdom. It's going to be on earth. The first, what's it called? The first resurrection? Go ahead.
And let's not use that as an excuse. Be like, well, we chose all our paths. We got to strive, man. We got to strive to please the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're diligently seeking Him, and you know what I'm saying, and hoping we're found worthy at that day. Because you don't want to die out here. You don't want to die beside your enemies.
Yeah.
In the land, in this land, bro. You know what I mean?
There shouldn't be any enemies to begin with, though. Like, and
There shouldn't be enemies? What do you mean?
There shouldn't be enemies. Well, but you said balance.
You have
also.
proven enemies, sir.
Balance.
You have proven. Well, of course, but some people are enemies of your own people as well. There's Serenos and North right down the street from each other.
Yeah.
That's a negative thing. That's a curse. But guess what? We're talking about the enemies that influence the world. Like the people that, exactly, the people that run America are your enemy, period. You can't get around that. They're the same people that got in cahoots with the Spaniards that slaughtered hundreds of millions of your Mexican ancestors. Aztec, Mayans, Incas, Native Americans, they all got killed for their benefit to run this world. So why wouldn't they be your enemies to this day? Of course they are. I gotta pay bills here. Why? It's supposed to be your land. It's supposed to be our land.
Yeah.
I gotta pay for water. Remember Orlando Brown? Listen to the Orlando Brown clip. We gotta pay for grapes, water,
Yeah, I saw that.
things that God gave us for free.
Hey, that dude went off the chain.
Yeah, he be dropping gems every now and then, but even though he be bugging out, but that was a powerful point he made.
Yeah, like I thought about it. Like, why not instead of like these trees right here? Why not fruit trees or something?
Did we just say that last week?
Like,
We just
fruit
said that
trees
last
or
week.
something,
Literally
like,
illegal.
well, because they want the money. It's like,
Exactly. They own all the agriculture, all that type of stuff, and of course, who's picking the crops? Mexicans. Guess what? This we dropped the gem. I'm gonna read this last one. What was it, like 2-3 years ago? Out in Georgia, Alabama. Guess what they found in slavery in Alabama? Mexicans working in factories for 20 cents a day. It was like 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
2022.
2021 maybe. 2021 because it's early 2024. 2021. They found a factory of Mexicans held at gunpoint working for slave labor in this country. So, wait a minute. Why did they do that? Because first of all, you're not paying them anyway. Why you gotta hold them at gunpoint? Because first of all, when they come to this country, they're not necessarily rich. They don't know language. They don't take any job that's given to them per se. But guess what? They're thinking they're working a regular job, going to this factory, and then getting held at gunpoint, said they can't leave. They're sleeping there. They're not getting paid properly, eating properly.
Well, I mean, you see them posted like outside of Home Depot already.
Of course.
Ready to work and stuff. So,
Exactly.
I mean, they're already willing.
They're doing that because they want to get their family over the border too, or send
so
money
why-
back to their family in Mexico.
Why
All right,
enslave
whatever.
them like that? Like,
Because wicked people run the earth.
Right.
Give me that. Yeah. Give me. Yeah. Give me that. No. I think it's in Psalms. Psalms 12 and 8. Let me see if that's it. 'Cause I forgot how it says it. And I want to. Yeah, 12 and 8. Psalms 12 and 8.
Psalms 12 and 8. The wicked on every side when the vilest men are exalted.
You just skipped the whole phrase.
The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted.
The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. Give me Proverbs 29. So who's vile? Who's more vile than the so-called Caucasian man? You know who he is in the Bible? The Edomites. Edom, Esau, and them fake Jews over there are descendants of Esau as well. Esau. Wherever you see a white man, a Caucasian man from Europe or wherever they're from, Australia, call them Edomite. Don't call them white. They're Edomites. They're the wicked of the earth. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
This is from Cron 4, right? This says modern day slavery ring discovered in Georgia. This was 2 years.
Wait, read that again?
It says modern day slavery ring discovered in Georgia.
What year was that? 2 years ago, March 12th, 2020. 4 years ago.
It says last month, 2 dozen people were indicted in Georgia on charges of smuggling Mexican and Central American immigrants
Wow.
to the United States and forcing them to live in camps and work on farms.
Of course they are.
Like with everything that's happening, like how
Are they opening the border and all that?
Texas and stuff and all that. And basically,
Yeah, they are. They going crazy on Texas. Like I said, there's like we can understand why the Americans want to stop that and defend that because technically there's not just migrants coming here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But we understand that if we believe this was their land before, there shouldn't be an issue. But we understand there's other things going on. Like I ain't gonna lie, I seen a TikTok video a while ago. This lady, because you familiar with Hamas, right? Over there in Israel, Hamas versus Israel,
oh yeah,
like the Palestinian conflict. She brought out some cold. She was like, she has a what's it called? Like an informant that was over there in Mexico. Talking about they have a Hamas camp in Mexico, but of course, who's caught with them? Like some government officials. So guess who came knocking at her door after she released that information? The FBI. Like, who's your source? Why do you want to know your source? Like, wait a minute, that means it's true. Why is everybody knocking on the door if it's not true?
why so defensive?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why is Hamas over here? Wait a minute, I thought Hamas was Palestinian Israeli enemies. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But of course, the next time her informant came back, they moved the whole camp. So who's controlling it? You see what I'm saying? But that's a side note. Go ahead.
It says, according to the indictment, the suspects required the workers to pay unlawful fees for transportation, food, and housing while illegally holding their travel and identification documents and subjected the workers to perform physically demanding work for little or no pay. At least 2 workers died under the working conditions. Another was repeatedly raped, while others were kidnapped and threatened with death. Workers were also forced to work at gunpoint, dig onions with their bare hands, pay 20 cents for each bucket harvested, and many were sold and traded to other conspirators.
Conspirators. That was 4 years ago, sir. Being in slavery in their own country. Well, not technically their own country, but...
So it like restarted basically.
Huh?
So they made over 200 million off of that.
They made over 200 million off them hard-working Mexicans.
And there was no consequences.
Why would there be? They caught them, and they stopped it, quote unquote. But there's underage slavery going on. They got kids picking cotton some places too, tobacco.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
No, nah. About
There's
that.
articles on that too. How they got little 13, 14-year-old kids picking tobacco,
No, that's not good.
which is illegal.
Yeah.
Child labor is illegal, but of course that happens all the time.
Like,
It's actually going on in Chinatown over here. You know what I mean? But whatever. Sweatshops. You have some. But all the information we brought, brother, like. You gotta internalize that, you know? If you're down the street, we out here every Saturday.
That's why I keep
Hold on, do you have a cigarette? What's that cigarette about? What's going on, man?
I smoke, man.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I know. No, but that's
You
why
gotta throw that in the rain, man. Throw that away. Break that right now and throw it away, bro. Throw that shit away.
No, but that's why I keep asking why. I keep asking like why this, why that. I try to come to the bottom
I'm
of
gonna ask you why. Why you keep smoking cigarettes?
That's right.
It's just
You addicted to it?
Mental thing. I
Or
don't know.
you're not addicted?
I
You
would-
remember what we said earlier,
To
right?
be honest, I'm not because I used to smoke every day. I just bought it back 3 days ago.
Nicotine is
What's that?
Huh?
Nicotine is addictive.
Oh,
that's-
well, it's addictive.
Nicotine,
So,
alcohol, and crack is like the most
I'm not
addictive.
addicted to cigarettes, I guess, to say, to the smoke.
I'm just saying though, the chemicals you like literally right now, there's only like 6, 7 chemicals. Once you light it, there's like 200-300 chemicals that go in your body. That's activated after you light it. You familiar with that?
Well,
Have you ever seen the drug commercials back in the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's old enough, kind of.
Yeah.
You ever seen those commercials?
I've seen a whole bunch of commercials.
You ever seen the
The
dairy and the dare stuff? Yeah, you familiar with that? You doing it right now. What's going on? You're too smart for that, man. You're too smart for that, man.
I'm gonna grow out of it.
Do it right now.
That's right.
Give me that Ciroc. That's what I want. This is one more before you go. I'm gonna beat this into you, bro, because this is getting crazy.
I smell black and mild right now.
I can smell it.
I'm like, and that's not me.
Listen, you doing the same thing. You literally buying boxes that say cancer.
Right.
You're buying cancer.
Surgeon warning or something.
You're buying cancer. How's that feel? Tell me how it feels.
No different from having to be enslaved by people
No.
that don't
We're not talking about everybody. We're talking about you.
No, well, that's
You're in slavery to your flesh and to that tobacco, brother. We gotta encourage you to get up out of that. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. But should I be healthy just to do whatever they want?
Well, no, be healthy for you.
Well, yeah, for me, but just keep doing.
And God doesn't want you doing that. If you believe in God, like you say you do.
Well, I mean,
Which one is it? You believe in God?
I believe in God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow what God tells you to do. Follow what the men of the Lord are telling you what to do. We're reading the Bible to you. This is a free course. We gave you a free course for about an hour and a half. You can't learn this anywhere else.
Hundreds of thousands is a seminary, bro.
Exactly.
Like,
If you wanted to go to a Christian church and go to your pastor and ask questions, he would not answer your question. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Go to any church on this block and go in there and ask him questions you're asking us. I guarantee you he's not going to answer them.
Yeah.
right.
Because he doesn't care.
He'll just say these words, pray.
Yeah, just fast and pray, give a $100 donation, and maybe the Most High will help you.
Yeah.
Madness. We don't care about the money. We care about your spirit and your soul.
Right.
And that cigarette ain't gonna help you, brother. That's the point. No matter how you feel, I don't know what's going on in your life, but guess what? It's not gonna change tomorrow after you smoke.
That's right.
You understand that?
Well, yeah, but same in the other way, like if I smoke, nothing's gonna change either. It's like
Of course it's gonna change. Your health is gonna change.
It's like
Maybe you have a clear mind at that time. Maybe you won't be drugged up, 'cause that's a drug.
well, yeah, it's a drug.
First of all, do you even know how tobacco is even collected? Have you seen how they process tobacco?
No.
There's all type of spider webs and all type of carcinogens on that stuff. You ever seen that?
No.
Have you seen that? You know what I'm talking about?
Spider web?
Yeah.
Bro, there's spider webs growing on tobacco. There's spiders all type of plants worldwide.
Yeah, it happens during its storage, like, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Pull up the video of tobacco, how they harvest tobacco. You're gonna see all type of spider webs on there, bro.
Yeah.
That's just besides the chemicals they put in it to preserve it, things like that.
Spider-Man. And I was like,
This
no,
dude's
I know,
crazy, man.
I know. I understand you.
I'm afraid of you, brother.
You're a good man.
You're a good brother, but yeah, we don't get through to you. Go ahead.
Now this is Sirach 5:2. Follow not thine own mind and thine strength to walk in the ways of thy heart.
Yeah, don't do what you think is right for your own mind. That's what it's talking about. Go ahead, read that.
Con, follow not thine own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart, and say not, who shall control me for my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride.
That's a little pride, brother. You know what I mean? Keep reading.
And say not, I have sinned, and what harm had happened unto me?
You've been in sin for 30 years up until today. Or not really since today, but since you learned what's going on. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
For the Lord is long suffering, he will in no wise let thee go.
Read on.
Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin.
Yeah, don't be without fear adding sin unto sin. Smoking is a sin.
But
Defiling your temple is going to get you killed. Like we just said, not even physically. Let's just say, like you said before, you get popcorn lungs. People die from that. And guess what? Actually, I think it was your brother. His brother had a friend. He was in his walk with us. He's still keeping the commandments. He told his friend, hey man, stop smoking. You know what happened the very next day? No, his lung popped.
Oh, ouch.
You know how crazy that is?
It sounds crazy.
So we're warning you, brother. We don't know what's going to happen when you go home or tomorrow or even a few months from now. We don't know. We don't know if we'll ever see you again. So this is our chance to tell you, guess what? If you're hearkening like you're listening and you really internalize what we're saying, if you really believe in God and love God, bro, you throw that stuff away, bro. Like, literally. Because you don't know how long God's going to help. You heard it. You love what you're hearing. You're learning more about anything you ever heard before about God. God might put you through the test. He might just kill your family, honestly.
This is the nicotine, like the ancients used nicotine for medicinal purposes, just like it's being abused today, right? They used to make teas, right, for laxative, for intestinal worms, right, to induce as a purga, like a purgante, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
To get rid of, like, you know what I mean?
Flush your intestines.
They flush your intestines, you know what I mean? Enemas,
Yeah.
tobacco enemas. So there was some medicinal uses of tobacco, but just like anything else, you know, or it's being abused, smoked.
Even at Genesis 129. But see what we're saying, brother? Like, I know this is like outside of the biblical narrative technically, but your life, how you live it, how we said earlier, you're supposed to be holy, separate. That's not being separate. You know what I mean? You're doing what everybody else does. Oh, stress, let me smoke. That's ridiculous. That's not gonna help you. Like I said, I guarantee once you stop smoking, bro, because you said you stopped buying them like as frequently, right?
Yeah,
You said that?
I don't smoke cigarettes like that.
Yeah, but it's still in your possession. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, if you was in New York, you'd be paying like $12 a pack.
I hope
Crazy.
I hope cigarette packs go $28 bucks, bro.
It's already going through the roof out there in New York. So, I mean, out here you never know. San Francisco's already expensive, so maybe they give you a break.
Cigarettes are technically always in your possession, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
They're not in my possession.
they're always at the store. You can buy it whenever you want.
I mean, and you can ignore it whenever you want to. I get liquor from the store. Liquor's not the same. I'm a drink. You know what I mean? And like I said, if you want to digest tobacco or marijuana, you can ingest it. Like you said before, there's THC receptors in our brains and in our stomachs, not in our lungs. That's why it doesn't belong in our lungs. Even though people still feel healing properties per se if you smoke, but it's better if you ingest it. Give me that, Genesis. You got something? Yeah, finish that.
This is Sirach 5 and 6. And say not, his mercy is great. He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins. For mercy and wrath come from him.
Mercy and wrath come from God. Balance, like you said, right? That's balance, right? Mercy and wrath. So we can have mercy on you because you came up here learning the truth today. But if you go on with your life like nothing ever happened, like we didn't tell you to stop smoking, God can do whatever he pleases because now you learn. Now you know what we're, you know, you may not even believe it. Whether you believe it or not, we're telling you that because you're our people and we love you. A lot of people don't want to hear good things. Like the Christian church, like give me that, hold that real quick. Give me Isaiah, was it 29? I know we said we had a couple more, but this is still the spirit we're just going into this information. But read that.
And his indignation resteth upon sinners.
His indignation rests upon sinners. What's indignation? Righteous judgment. God's righteous judgment rests upon sinners. He's going to judge people that sin. Read.
Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord.
Don't wait to turn to the Lord. Read.
And put not off from day to day.
Don't put off from day to day, right? We're telling you Saturday. Tomorrow, maybe you might smoke something. Monday, maybe so too. Next week, you got to work on not doing it, not buying it, not being around it. Read.
For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security,
In your security, thinking you're good to go. Read.
thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance.
That's how God works. It might not happen in a month. It might not even happen next year. But guess what? Once
It'll
you,
happen.
aren't you afraid of that? No. Hey man, that's crazy. That's pride. That's what we said about pride.
Fear God, bro. Like,
Right.
You haven't experienced
God
God
is
judging
terrible.
somebody.
We've seen God judging people like in this walk, bro.
Yeah.
Like seriously.
How do you see them being judged though? Like how what?
You can be judged anytime.
Okay, for example,
God might kill your mom. Kill your parents alive?
So
He might
it's-
kill your parents.
so that's
kill
like-
your kids. You got kids?
Are you? No, I don't have kids.
Okay.
So, but
For
you're-
example,
so that's like a little sacrificing, basically, or like.
I mean, that's judgment from God. That's not a sacrifice.
yeah,
You're not offering up somebody,
No, yeah, no.
so it's not sacrifice. No, it's God judging somebody.
I'll give you an example. Like 4 or 5 years ago, we had a council, right, within ourselves, and then we had everybody swear upon the name of the Lord, upon his true name in the Hebrew. Dude lied at the council. What happened? A couple months later, he went into coma.
Exactly. Brother went into a coma.
Went into a coma.
He came out the coma, but
He came out. Then we got tubes
That's
in him
scary,
and hell. Like we've seen God, like
His word.
judge people. Like you know what I mean. So God is terrible, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a terrible God. The Bible calls him the king of terrors.
that's right.
You know what I mean? And he must be feared.
How you fear God? Keeping His commandments.
Isn't it better not to fear him?
No, Better to fear him. Give me that Ciroc. Ciroc 2 and 16 or 15? What you got? Go ahead.
This is Hebrews 10 and 31. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
It's a fearful thing.
So,
People might say, oh, it's an accident. No,
So-
God allowed it to happen.
well, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of him.
Exactly.
So isn't it better not to fear him?
No. What are you talking about?
Not fearing them. That's
Yeah, not fear. Yeah. You got one?
Yeah.
What you got?
15 to 16?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The same thing. I was telling one of my brothers at work, because he used to smoke a lot. And I'm like, bro, I was showing him the commandments, showing him who he is in the Bible. And he's like, you know what? I believe this. This sounds cool. I'm like, bro, you need to stop smoking. He's like, you can't tell me to stop smoking. And I'm like, bro, and I'm showing him the verses and everything. The very next day, I was a manager that he called off because he woke up with blisters all down his throat, bro. If you can't tell me that's not God's judgment from one day to the next, one night he's cool, the next day wake up with blisters in your throat. Come on, bro.
That's very tricky.
Same thing with his brother's friend's lung popping. That happened within a few days. So we're telling you today, guess what? Smoking is bad for you, sir. It might not happen rapidly like we're telling you, but we know people personally that have experienced that.
Trust me,
And you don't want to be on that side,
I know
bro.
it's bad. Yeah, I know.
But you just said us that you don't fear God.
Well, I mean, it's not.
You haven't experienced it. That's the problem.
You don't understand the type of fear like we're talking about. Like, this is a high reverence. Like, when you were little, you feared your dad.
Oh yeah.
We all
of
feared our
course.
fathers.
Yeah, but
This is a different type of fear.
so like
Listen, hold on.
so like sleep paralysis type of thing.
This is a type of fear. No,
It's not feel like that where you're awake and then someone's getting judged now.
so you're getting judged now, probably. But that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a different type of
Somebody
fear.
got shot.
But damn.
Yeah, that's so weird. Police don't be responding to shit now. They don't. Yeah, so what I'm saying is like this is like we feared our father when we were young. This is the creator of everything seen and unseen. You believe things that are unseen, right? You believe some the things that exist that are unseen, right? This is the person the being that created everything.
How we getting these sleep paralysis though? Like where you're
Those are demons, though.
well, yeah. I mean, so why would I fear God if I'm facing that?
That can be some kind of
Those aren't good.
that can be a torment. That could be a torment from something you're doing.
Yeah, that's not healthy, bro.
That's a
No,
paralysis
it's not, but
That's like
That's
castigo,
not a-
bro. That's like a.
So
That's,
you don't fear sleep paralysis? Is that what you're saying?
not no
I
more.
used to get that. I used to get that too.
I fight
So you're
that
comfortable
now
with
because
these.
I'm consciously I'm aware when I know it's happening. And
But that's
like,
still not supposed to be happening.
That's still not supposed to be
You're
happening, bro.
you're allowing demons to do that.
Like honestly, like when we say fear God, that means like you reverence Him. You know that His blessings, His forgiveness, but also His punishments come from Him. You know what I'm saying? He might not even kill you, man. He might just
keep me,
kill everyone around you. Like,
just keep me alive.
yeah, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And that's what we fear the Most High God. Right?
No, I'm gonna read you this. You don't go nowhere. I'm gonna read you this right now. We're gonna finish this out. Listen, your feet is playing it right now. Go ahead. So we're gonna tell you the difference between the type of fear you're referencing, because it's gonna explain it right here.
This is Sirach 34 and 14. Whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear.
Hold on. Oh yeah, they all forming like Voltron. We're gonna hear about it soon. But read that.
On Sirach 34 and 14. Whoso feareth the Lord
So fear the Lord is what?
shall not fear.
Wait a minute, read that again.
Whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear.
Why is it saying that? Whoso fears the Lord shall not fear. What type of fear is both those talking about?
So fear the Lord for what He could do, and because you know you fear Him, like He won't do nothing to you.
But it says not to fear as well. What aren't you fearing then?
Just the fact that
If you fear what He can do, I mean, obviously that's a proper understanding. But
you believe in what He's capable of, and you believe that He won't do wrong towards you if you don't do wrong towards Him.
see, I mean, we've said that before, but You're saying that you don't fear God, though.
Well,
Or there's not an issue with not doing it.
well, because I'm not doing nothing technically to him.
You're in sin. Of course you are. What are you talking about?
To him, though. Then,
Of
like,
course, you're disobeying him.
Disobeying.
You don't keep the laws, right? You have mixed fabric on right now. Of course you. Of course you. Of course you do. Of course you do. You eat pork.
But yeah.
You're in sin.
Yeah.
You're in sin right now.
Those things are-
Those are sins, sir.
No.
And it says the wages of sin are what? Death.
That's right.
So if you want to die, even though people can still die regardless, but we're saying the type of death that you're going to experience might be way more gruesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or he might put you through some certain hells before you die. Like I said, he might kill your whole family. He might, have you do anything.
Suffer before.
That's what I'm saying. You don't fear that? You don't fear that either? Because God can do that.
I mean, I guess I fear it.
Sleep paralysis is just the minimum. Because sleep paralysis doesn't last forever.
No.
Even though it's not a good
It
thing.
feels like it, yeah, but it doesn't.
Listen, next time that happens, call on the name of Yahweh. That's his name, the Heavenly Father. Read.
Whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear nor be afraid, for he is his hope.
Read on.
Blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Lord.
Blessed is the soul that fears the Lord. You want to be blessed? So fear to God. Go ahead.
For whom does he look? And who is his strength?
Read on.
For the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love him.
That's how you love God, by keeping his commandments. Fearing God is keeping the commandments. It coincides with one another. Read on.
He is their mighty protection.
So if you want protection from sleep paralysis, guess what? You got to fear God. Keep the laws.
Right.
Don't eat pork no more. Read.
And-
What you gonna say?
But if it was like that before, if I did fear him, why did it
You,
happen
you,
in the
you,
beginning?
you never feared God.
Oh, I did back then, yeah.
Back then where? According to the Catholic Church?
Before sleep paralysis happened, then it just kept on happening, I was like, all right.
But you weren't fearing God according to the Bible. How were you fearing God?
You feared what the church taught you.
Or maybe the consequences.
You feared that you were going to go to hell, that type of thing?
I guess.
Which is,
yeah.
which is a flawed
Yeah,
ideology. We
yeah.
proved that's not true, right?
Yeah.
So that's a flawed ideology. So you didn't fear God properly. Of course, if you don't know no better, obviously it's not a problem per se, but you're still in sin, like you said, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem. You don't fear God if you're in sin. Read on.
It says, he is their mighty protection and strong stay,
Read on.
a defense from heat and a cover from the sun at noon, a preservation from stumbling.
What?
A preservation from stumbling.
You fear God, he preserves you from stumbling. Now, if you want to, like I said, you want to get away from the cigarettes and things like that, he's going to preserve you from that once you start fearing him properly. So you can finally save your money on them cigarettes and stop poisoning yourself. Read on.
And it says, and a help from falling.
A help from falling. Is that 17? Go ahead.
17. It says, he raiseth up the soul and lighteneth the eyes.
Read on.
He giveth health, life, and blessing.
God gives health, life, and blessings to those that fear him. Keep the laws of God. That's the proper way to fear him. Fear him in reverence of, okay, we know what he's capable of. But guess what? I fear him in reference, okay, I'm going to do this, and I know what happens if I don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that goes along with the reverence. You have something? Go ahead.
Sirach 2:14. Woe, which means destruction. Woe unto you that have lost patience.
Read on.
And what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you?
Read on.
They that fear their Lord will not disobey his word,
If you fear God, you're not going to disobey his word. Go ahead.
and they that love him will keep his ways.
Keep reading the next one.
They that fear the Lord
They that fear the Lord. See, this is fear. Read.
seek that which is well, pleasing unto him, and they that love him
They that love God. Read.
shall be filled with the law.
It's plain. If you love me, you're going to keep laws. If you love me, you're going to seek out which is well. You're going to keep the commandments. You know what I mean? Read on.
They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
That's how it works. The path you got to be on, brother, at least starting that path, you got to fear God and understand first. Because you understand plenty that we said, right? And it makes sense. We answered your questions. You asked about the Bible. You asked about science. You asked about other things. Now we're telling you about what you're doing. And you don't like it per se because that's what you're comfortable with. You can't be comfortable with sin. That's the problem. That's why we're in America being killed every day. That's why we just read an article about your ancestors being put in slavery in a building 4 years ago. And I guarantee what's happening still right now. That's just one building.
Our babies and borders.
Even that though, like even the slaves, what they're doing, agreeing to it, is
Excuse me?
agreeing to it.
Who?
The slaves.
Those people in what slaves?
Slaves,
Your ancestors?
Slaves in general.
Black slaves?
In general.
Show me where they agreed to be beat to death and
Well,
killed and raped.
I mean,
What are you talking about?
They end up disagreeing. They don't end up being
Where'd they agree to
crucified
it?
Like how Jesus was, you know. Like,
Were they hung from trees?
Oh, that's back then, yeah.
It's happening right now.
They're hung for
People are getting hung right now. Right now.
Oh, I didn't know
Listen, brother, you think these white people love us now?
that. Oh, no, I know they don't. But,
So you think you think they won't hang a black
No,
person or Mexican?
no.
You know Mexicans hung on trees too, right?
Right.
No, I didn't know that.
Where's that sign? Where's the sign at? Oh, it's right here.
It's at the bottom.
Mexicans being hung right there. You never heard that?
No, to be honest, no.
Where's
never
that?
heard
Is there a sign on here? No, it doesn't have it on here. There was a sign in America talking about what? No dogs, no Hispanics, no Negroes. Why? Because they hate y'all too.
Nah, it actually said Mexican.
Yeah, it's a Mexican.
Mexicans?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just that was the ones that were coming over at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah. No. They said no dogs, no Mexicans, no Negroes.
Damn.
So, what makes you think they're not hanging us right now? They're in rulership. They don't love us. But anyways, you got something? Well, I'm gonna let you go after this, though. 'Cause I know you ready to go. We don't want no excuses from you, though, bro.
That's
Go ahead.
right. Hey, this is Sirach 33. From the top it says, "There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord.
Read on.
But in temptation, even again, he will deliver him. A wise man hateth not the law."
A wise man hates not the law. Wait, read it from the top. I don't know if you heard that. Read.
It says, "There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord."
There's no evil gonna happen to you if you fear the Lord. How you fear the Lord?
Knowing what he can do.
We read something else. What else we read? Keeping the laws, right? One of the laws is not eating pork. Now wear mixed fabric.
Talk about pork and
Of course. We didn't read that, but that's what it says. Go ahead.
But in temptation, even again, he will deliver him.
Even in temptation, he's going to deliver you. The temptation to buy cigarettes again. If you fear the Lord, he's going to take you away from that. Get that sensation away. Because it's hard to quit. I ain't going to lie. It took me about 5 months to stop smoking weed. But guess what? I was doing it purposely. I'm not going to buy it no more. I'm not going to be around people that smoke. That's what I was doing. Purposely, so because I know I'm going to be tempted to do it if I'm around that. And guess what? Eventually, I had to stop. Like, I don't care no more. I'm doing this. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
A wise man hateth not the law,
A wise man hates not the law. Read on.
but he that is a hypocrite therein
A hypocrite, read.
is as a ship in a storm.
It's a ship in a storm. Because first you say you don't fear God, then you say you fear God before this, so it doesn't make sense.
And then he got a cigarette.
Well, of course, he didn't know what the fear was, so it's not necessarily
Okay.
his fault. But guess what? If you think that having sleep paralysis is not just it's a regular thing, no. I've never had sleep paralysis. Even in the world, I never had that. My mom said she had it. I know a couple people that said they had it, but guess what? That's not normal.
yeah, I know it's not normal.
But you say you're comfortable with it now.
Well, yeah, because it happened a couple times.
But do you want it to happen again?
Oh, heck no.
You know what I mean?
That's
You don't
a
want it to
horrible-
happen.
It's a horrible feeling,
when
but
that-
you shouldn't, like, when it's a mentality thing when it's happening to you, like, you can't.
It's a spiritual attack, though. That's a real demon
that's why
on you.
you gotta, like, you know, man up, spirit, like, mentally, like, be like, all right.
No, that's a
you-
spiritual attack, bro.
Like-
Exactly. I've never had that happen before, but I know I'm pretty sure it's scary.
Oh,
But at the
it's
same
scary.
time, you say you're okay with it, like of course you're not.
I'm not okay with it, but I mean, if
You
it
understand
happens,
it though. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that, like when that used to happen to me, it used to happen to me a lot. Like I know
Break
what
it
I
on
know,
drugs.
I know what you're saying
You can't
too.
move or nothing.
I know what you're saying that like okay, you know what's happening and it's gonna go away at one point, but it's still like you don't want that to happen and it disturbs your sleep. Like it's just it's not something that we should be living with. You know what I'm saying?
It's something I believe I gotta prove myself to. Like, hey, they want to show me something. Well, I could show them.
So it's a pride thing.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Basically, it's like
That's not gonna help you though.
well, against demons.
No.
If it's demons, like
Are you stronger than a demon? Of course you're not.
Am I
You
supposed-
can't move, right?
am
How are
I-
you stronger than demons?
So I'm
right.
supposed to praise demons?
Praise? Who said that?
Well, I mean, I'm supposed to do.
You're supposed to praise the Father, the Creator.
But
Yeah, how is his name?
but technically, what I'm doing is fighting off demons mentally, and
But you can't. It hasn't worked, right?
no.
So why are you doing it?
Not
God's,
yet.
God's allowing it to happen.
Yeah,
We just
yeah,
read
yeah.
that God can control the demons, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna send a demon on you, thinking that because you're so prideful that you think you can do it yourself. My mind's stronger. No, that demon's stronger than you.
Right.
Period. And God's allowing that to happen because you got a lot of pride left. You got to get rid of that pride. You know what I mean? Because pride goes before a fall, brother. We don't want you to fall. We're giving you an olive branch and telling you information that you should internalize and get over the hump. You know what I mean? That hump is the drugs. I don't know what else you're doing. You know what I mean? The drugs, what we know today, we're telling you to get away from that.
Yeah.
That might be attributed to that. Who knows? But guess what? It's not going to happen overnight. But at the end of the day, if you're trying, like you say, you trying earlier, you got to really strive to do that sincerely. You know what I mean?
You got idols in your house? Huh? You got idols in your house?
Like what?
The cross or Virgin Mary.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
Vita hand?
You live with your parents, or is that
Virgin
your own?
Mary? No, it's so it's me and my mom, but I pay the rent and everything, but yeah. I always
Your mom's a Catholic still. She has that. Maybe that. I mean, you don't go to Catholic church, but you believe that still or no?
That, like I said, there's certain aspects to it that like.
But do you
certain
believe in it though? Do you believe in the Catholic information that she might be telling you? You celebrate Christmas?
Yeah, we celebrate Christmas.
Yeah. See?
Idolatry. Like that, it could be that.
So,
He didn't know that back
so
then.
like,
I'm
No,
just
yeah,
saying,
yeah.
like,
The
But
Jehovah's
it
Witness
still could be
basically
that.
is
Jehovah's Witnesses? What about them?
That's like what people are meant to be or something. Like
Hell no. What? You're an Israelite. What are you talking about?
that part.
I just told you that. You're an Israelite, brother. What we're telling you, you go to Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm not going to tell you what we're telling you. That's another man-made doctrine.
So would this
Guess
be
who made that
considered
doctrine?
as,
Sorcery.
Sorcery? Like it can't be like good vibes or something?
How? You're poisoning yourself. We just
What is
said
that? Is that your vape?
Yes, it's baby.
Oh, that's not your vape. Oh, that's a Lucy? That's
What is
dope.
it? Oh, that's
That's dope.
an emerald?
It's blue appetite.
Oh,
That's
appetite?
dope. I mean, like, that's dope to have.
You think those have like healing properties, things like that? I mean, that's, listen, like
God
crystals and all that stuff, like, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you, like, some of them do have healing properties. Do I know which ones? No. Like, I have plenty of stones at the house.
God
A
heals.
lot, yeah, exactly, God heals you. Like, those stones ain't gonna do nothing for you.
Yeah.
What are you using that for, by the way?
Just
Is it good luck charm or what?
something like that. Yeah, I guess.
Do you think it heals you though? Like, what's it supposed to heal?
No, it doesn't.
Because you know they have titles for
I'm
the...
hoping it does something. I just got it
What?
2-3 days ago.
So you have hope in that stone?
Uh-huh.
Listen, bro. I don't know what's better. You believing in that stone or going back to the Catholic Church? But either way, it's wrong. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, out of all we're telling you, is that what you got?
Well, that's
This,
not what
this
I got. But
something that you
I
can
know
get from a
what you're
corner
telling
store
me.
is supposed to heal you?
I know what you're telling me, and I understand it.
Do you
but
believe what I'm telling you?
I believe what you're telling me.
Okay, so that stone's not gonna do a damn thing for you, sir. Use it as a paperweight, whatever the case may be. You get a menorah, get a what's the thing that goes on your door? Mezuzah, get mezuzah, get those things in your house.
Like a dream catcher type thing?
No, this dude's crazy, man. Like a dream catcher, hell no. You need a damn sleep paralysis catcher if that's the case. But anyways, nah, bro. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with having the stones, but you said I just hope it does something. Like absolutely not. What's that? But a mezuzah, yeah, get a mezuzah, brother. That's a law of God as well. And tear down them idols in your mom's house. She might get mad at you, but if you paying the rent, so I'm taking out this idol, I'm taking out this cross, I pay the rent here, don't have this stuff in my house. What she gonna say? She gonna get mad at you?
Well, no. Well, she wouldn't get mad at me, but...
Take that out of your house. Start with that. Tonight. Go to your house. You say you live there around the street, right?
Yeah.
Go down the street. As soon as you go in the house, if you see a cross there, take it out, break it, throw it out.
No.
What? What do you mean no?
Come on, man.
It's like what I grew up with. It's like, wow.
What you grow up with, you don't believe in that though. You don't go to the Catholic Church no more. What's wrong with it?
I believe in Jesus.
So that's the thing. You think Jesus died on that? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. like I said,
You think it represents Jesus?
It's just gonna keep going and going. And it's like I believe
But
in
we have to
Jesus.
correct your understanding because, first of all, let's just say this. You have any family members, brothers, sisters, things like that? Let's say your brother got killed by a 45 pistol.
His picture is to remember him. Yeah.
But would you have a gun to remember him?
Well,
Or the bullet that killed him? Would you put
are
it
you talking
around
about the cross itself
Exactly.
or Jesus?
Jesus Christ was killed on a cross.
Oh,
Why do you have a cross if that's what killed him?
Yeah, that's true.
So would you wear a gun on your chest to memorize your brother?
No.
Of course not. So it doesn't make sense.
But I have
But even
pictures of
still,
Jesus.
what's that?
A picture of Jesus? Would that be that?
You have a white Jesus in your house? Of course you do.
Well, I mean, that's like.
Of course you do. You know better. You know better than that. We don't know what literally what Jesus looked like, but we know he wasn't white for sure. So if he had that cross in there, that's an idol. Matter of fact, give me that in Habakkuk real quick, 2:19. I know you said that before, but you've been there about 30 minutes later. I'm gonna give you. Let me give you two more. Let me give you two more. This is my word. I'm gonna give you two more. Give me Habakkuk 2:19.
You'll be back next week?
We out here every Saturday. We
I
every
passed
Saturday.
by, yeah.
Yeah, man. What's your name? You said again? My bad.
Hyro.
Iro. And give me what is it? Yeah, Habakkuk 2:19. Give me you know the St. Andrew's Cross. Is that what it's called? You know what I'm talking about? I want to look up St. Andrew's Cross. Hey, actually, I'm just gonna give you history. Because that cross is what? It's like a lowercase t, right? Where does that go back to? You familiar? Babylon. Like Tammuz, that's what it represents. The son of, what's the dude's name? Yeah, Nimrod. The son of Nimrod was named Tammuz. That's where you get the virgin birth from, all that type of stuff. They blended the Bible with paganism. So the lowercase t represents Tammuz. Because literally, if you look up how the Romans were crucifying people back in the day,
Unorthodox
what's that?
type things. Unorthodox.
Excuse me?
Unorthodox type things, basically.
Well, no, that goes back way before Christianity was even thought of. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying that to say the methodology of them, yeah, that's how they crucify people on an X. That's what the cross is. It's an X. It's not a T. That's what Christ died on. So that cross in your house doesn't even represent the proper instrument that killed him. Exactly. It's paganism. It represents Tammuz. That's what I'm telling you. And there's videos on it. So that's what I'm telling you. Go in there and break it. It doesn't represent Jesus at all. First of all, if you want to say he died on that, sure. But it's a murder weapon. You're subject to a crime now. Guess what? You go to jail. Yeah. I'm just saying a joke. But anyways, that's an idol first and foremost. Because people think there's some significance to it. Which is why we just told you what he died on, the X. That's what a cross is. That's what the cross is. But anyways, the T will go back to Tammuz. And also, what's we'll say? The Virgin Mary. What? Like Virgin Mary, shit, that don't mean nothing. That's an idol too. You pray to that? Or should your mom pray to that?
Yeah, Virgin Mary, yeah.
You have statues in your house too?
Pictures.
Pictures of Virgin Mary? It's a white lady? Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It
like,
is. Yeah, I know.
Porcelain.
Madness. Get rid of all that stuff, bro. If that's your house, you're the man in the house, pay the bills, throw all that stuff out. Trust me. Your spirits won't be in there no more. Okay?
Now this is Habakkuk 2:19. Woe unto him that says to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise. It shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it.
So the wood is what? Represents the cross. The stone represents what? The cobblestone. Islam. That's what they do. They circle a rock and kiss it. Madness. Why would you do that? That's nothing to do with God. They're trying to make it seem like, oh, Abraham built it, but no, that's not true either. But anyways, I don't want to hold you too long, brother. I know you say it goes, raining. But I definitely appreciate your time, bro. Stop smoking. Stop vaping.
Right.
Don't let them demons in, bro. You know what I mean?
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate your time, brother. Repent, brother. That's the main thing. Repent. Keep the laws of God.
Bring it out.
All right, man. We gonna find out. Put more hope in His word than that crystal, man. What you got?
Right.
No. I can't do that. Like,
What do you got?
No, that's good.
Cigarettes? Yeah, get him cigarettes up, man. You don't need that. See, they're not sincere, man. You crazy, man.
Not yet. It's not my time yet.
All right, it's time to poison yourself, huh? That's what it is?
That's crazy.
Madness. That's how stiff-necked our people are. Crazy.